What's up, YouTube? It is a chilly day. I'm trying to keep my visor from fogging up. So I'm sure a bunch of you have thought about having a second bike, so that's what the topic is today. I've been thinking about a second bike, actually two different types of bike, and one of those is a 72 model Sportster. Now, just to clarify, I don't mean 1972, I mean the 72 model. It was in production between 2012 and 2016, if I remember correctly. And so, that being said, I would definitely be getting a used second bike. And so this 72, I just remember falling in love with it. It's just a 70s chopper style looking bike. Had the Mini 8 handlebars, 21-inch front wheel, 1200cc Evo motor on it. I believe there was an option for ABS as well. But I just love the look of it. I never actually got to test drove one. Excuse me, test ride. But I did get to sit on one in a dealership. I think it was back in 2016, which was the last year. And man, I just absolutely loved this bike. It just looked authentic, raw, just unique. And it had that hard candy custom paint as an option, which looked freaking badass. Now it only has like it's got one of those peanut tanks, so it's only, I think it was 2.1 gallons, so you're not going to get very far. Like I said, it's not a touring bike, and I'm not necessarily looking for a touring bike because I already have one. I have this Street Glide. And I just, like I said, I just like the style of it, and there's so many things you could do to it, so many customizations. You know, I wouldn't get too crazy with it, but it sure would be a lot of fun. Fun to ride, and you know, great for the channel. Now, the other bike I was thinking about is totally, well, I wouldn't say totally out of the Harley realm. It's adventure touring. I know Harley's coming out with the Pan America, which, like I said, I'm going to buy a used bike. And I can only imagine, I haven't even looked up and see what the price of the Pan America might be or will be. And I just know it's brand new and I ain't getting it. And I'm sure it's a pretty hefty price. So the two bikes I've been looking at, I've always really liked the Triumph Tiger. And they make different models. You know, you have the 1200, 850, 900, I think they were. And so I was leaning more towards the smaller bike, with the, you know, the smaller engine. It has the 850 has 888 cc's. It's an inline, it's a 12 valve inline 3-cylinder. Has ABS. Just a great looking bike. I've always really liked the way they look, and you know, Triumph's been around forever, and they've been in the adventure touring market for a long time. Just a great looking bike. And the other bike is a Suzuki V-Strom. Now, what got me really looking into this bike, I mean, I'd looked at it before, but I started watching Motoramblings and I noticed he had one. I was like, man, that bike looks awesome. And I believe he has a 650. Now there's a 650, let's see what else is there. I think it's a 1100, I think it is. Or no, it's a 1050, or excuse me, 1000 and a 1050. And again, I would lean more towards the 650 because, you know, I mean, you're going off-road. You don't really need a lot of crazy amount of power. You're not going to be going super fast. At least I'm not going to. Hang on, my lens is fogging up a little bit. Ooh, it's starting to rain on me a little bit too. So that bike is a 645 cc's V-twin engine, liquid cooled. Also the Triumph Tiger is liquid cooled as well. And both those bikes they're touring bikes. They can carry over, well, the tanks are like over 5 gallons. So, and like I said, I'm not necessarily looking for a touring bike, but this is a bike I can go off-roading with, which would be a lot of fun. The V-Strom has traction control, which is really cool, ABS. But like I said, I'm looking at that because I've always wanted to get into venture touring. And with venture touring, you know, I know I'd have to buy a lot of equipment for that, and, you know, as far as apparel. I've been in areas like down in the Cherahalla Skyway in Tennessee where I see a lot of people down there riding adventure touring bikes going off-road, because there's a lot of off-roading down there. But it would be a whole new adventure for me, and it'd be great for the channel as well. But you know, I'm mainly getting these bikes because it's something I want, right? It's not necessarily for the channel, but I mean, it does help. But it'd just be nice to be able to take these roads off the beaten path and see where they go. I know I've seen a lot of information online about doing some off-roading, and it's definitely something I've always been interested in, and I enjoy seeing other people doing it on YouTube. And that being said, I'm kind of curious what people think. What would they choose? It's a hard decision. You know, I love that Sportster, I always have. And the price range I'm looking at is somewhere between $6,000 and $8,000. The cheaper the better. But this is not something I'm going to consider buying this year. It would be something I would consider next year. Because I'm trying to cut down on payments. You know, I have a truck payment and I need to get rid of it, and that'll be done early next year, so I don't have much left on my truck. But I'm just curious what everybody thought. Would you grab a Sportster, you know, whatever it might be? It doesn't have to be Harley, or it's not about Harley and competing with another brand or whatever. It's just, you know, different options, thinking about a second bike, because, you know, a lot of folks that watch my channel are motorcycle enthusiasts. I mean, who wouldn't want a second bike? A lot of people do. Some have more. But I appreciate it if you leave some comments. Do you have a second bike? What is it? Is it something totally different than what your main bike is? And if you don't have a second bike, what would you choose? What would you consider? Because I'm heavily considering it for next year, but you know, things can change. But I always like getting caught in traffic, trying to end a video. Oh, but I guess I'll have to end this one on a slow note. Never done that before. This is why I should never come through a lot of the traffic congested areas. But then again, I didn't know this was going to be here, so. I appreciate everybody watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. And always, rip the ride.